Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Atai Kozlovsky. Let me just see if this is working. And this is Ethical Challenges in the Age of AI. So welcome. Okay, so now that we know a bit each other, well, very superficially, we're going to get into the course. And today's sort of an introductory session, right? So we're not going to cover a lot of ground. More what we're going to do today is just dive into the topic, see sort of what we can look forward to throughout the semester, and try and get you all interested and excited for this upcoming semester in which we're going to really try and understand this topic. So what are we going to go through today? We have three main goals. We're going to try and understand what is philosophy, what is AI, and what is ethics, which is our topic, right, for the course. So we'll go into those three topics. And then we'll talk about the many uses of AI. We'll try and get into that, see sort of why we are even interested in this topic. All of you said you're sort of interested, scared, excited, think it's important. We'll see exactly why, or what is behind all this hype or hope. We'll see. And then finally, we'll talk about the course itself. We'll go over the syllabus together. We'll talk about the assessment, and we'll get all those technical questions out of the way, okay? Leave those to the end. Now, just in general about my policy in lectures and seminars and whatnot, feel free to interrupt me. If you have any questions, just raise your hand. I'll try and stop once I finish my sentence. No problem at all. I will call on some of you sometimes to get you talking, so don't be embarrassed, okay? This is a safe zone, okay? There are no silly or stupid answers here or ideas or thoughts that are bad, okay? Especially as a philosopher, and those of you who study philosophy should know that, right? That in order to find out things, we need to question ourselves. We need to test our intuitions. So intuitions are always correct because they're yours. There's no wrong intuition. It doesn't exist. Maybe there's a wrong answer, but we're not interested in those. We're interested in our intuitions, on our ideas, on our thoughts, okay? So feel free to participate. Don't be embarrassed. And if I call on you, don't be sort of embarrassed. I'm just trying to get you a bit active, okay? So I apologize for that in advance. All right, okay. Philosophy, AI, and ethics. Now, we have a lot of philosophers here in the room, so maybe some things I'm saying are a bit obvious to you, but I think nevertheless it's important to start off from that point and sort of ask this very basic question. What is philosophy? Who wants to try and give an answer? Good. Now, if I put up a picture of this guy, is he familiar to everyone here? Or this painting? It's a famous painting, right? About, especially we're focusing on this man here. This is Socrates. Perhaps not the best representative of philosophy, as his ending was quite tragic. For those of you who don't know, this is capturing the famous moment in which Socrates drinks the poisonous hemlock, right? He was condemned to die by his own hand, by his fellow statesmen, right? And this is sort of capturing that image in which he's about to drink the poison. He's pointing up maybe to the world of the ideas, if you guys are familiar with that notion, to the pure knowledge. So Socrates, not the best example of why philosophy is interesting and good, or what is philosophy. But what was Socrates well known for, right? Socrates was one of those people you would never, ever want to sit and have a beer with. And why is that? He asked annoying questions. He interrogated people, right? He tried to get everyone to admit to the things they don't know and don't understand. So he was a menace to society. And that's what happens to menace to society, right? People don't like them. They're shunned. They're kicked out eventually. Well, that was Socrates and his story. But what Socrates did, or Plato, from where we know about the life of Socrates, right, was bring to Western society this idea of philosophy, right? The father of philosophy in a sense, right? To bring this idea, there's a famous quote later on that says all of Western philosophy is a footnote to Plato, right? Everything that has happened since then is just footnotes to his work. It was all done then already. All the interesting questions were already asked back then. Okay, right or wrong, that's the origins of philosophy in a sense, right? But we're interested in what is philosophy. So philosophy as a field of science, as a way to study ideas and thoughts, it's what you might call a meta topic, right? And what do I mean by that, meta? Well, when we're talking about meta topics, metaphysics, metaethics, and so on, we're talking about the foundations of that field of knowledge, right? The fundamental questions. That's what philosophy is interested in, right? We might not know how to explain why things fall down, right? Because we have no idea about physics. But we'll ask about the foundations of physics. What does it mean for an item to have certain kinds of drawing? What is this idea of gravitational force as an idea? What are the preconditions of human cognition for us to understand that such a force exists? These are types of philosophical questions. Now, throughout the ages, philosophy has focused on a great variety of topics. And here's some famous philosophers. No, go back. I don't want you yet. Here are some of the famous philosophers right in the past and sort of what they were interested in. So René Descartes, many of you philosophers might know, introduced this idea of philosophy of mind, right? This idea of dualism, right? Am I existing? What does it mean to exist, right? What does it mean to have thoughts and knowledge? Then we have these political theorists, political philosophy. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, one of my personal favorites, right? Maybe the inspiration behind the French Revolution, right? Behind this idea of modern liberalism that came up. What does it mean to live in a political society? What is fairness? What is justice? These are the types of questions that political philosophers are interested in. Then we have existentialists, right? What is the meaning of life? Is there such a thing even? Is there morality and ethics? Does that thing even exist? Or are all these just illusions that we tell ourselves, right? Jean-Paul Sartre here. Then we have philosophers of science. So you're seeing the theme here, right? Philosophy is a field of something else, unfortunately, right? We are philosophers of mind, of politics, of science, of language and logics, to try and understand the foundation of what it means to discuss something. What are groups of ideas that come together, family resemblances. And of course, there's the philosophy of AI, right? So Alan Turing, perhaps the father of AI, well, there are many fathers and mothers to AI, but he is one of them at least. Again, another tragic figure that perhaps not the best example if I wanted to motivate people to be philosophers. Yeah, we have some kind of pattern of philosophers committing suicide, unfortunately. Anyway, Alan Turing, perhaps the father of philosophy of AI, although again, not exactly accurate, because perhaps throughout the course we'll see the ideas behind AI are now recreations of ancient questions, right? Although the technology is new, the questions we're asking are old. And we'll get into that. So let's talk a bit about Alan Turing and this idea of philosophy of AI. So what is AI? The big question. Who wants to help me and answer that? What is AI? What are we talking about when we talk about AI? Algorithms, Twitter, social media, software, complex algorithms, all these issues fall in some sense under computer science, AI, all these issues. But when we come at it from a philosophical perspective, when we're asking about the philosophy of AI, and we'll get into all the examples you brought up later, of course, what we're interested is somewhere towards what Raymond was talking about, right? How do we think about artificial intelligence? And there are four typical methods to do that, right? So we can ask either about reasoning, right? About how do we think? How do we come up with knowledge? What is intelligent? Or we can talk about behavior. So these are the two types of sort of ways to approach it. And then on the other side, we will have human-based versus ideal. So when we're thinking about AI, we might be thinking, for instance, the first model here, a cognitive model. And AI is something that is artificial, but can think like humans. So all four of these models that I'm going to be talking about now are being researched. They are subsets of AI. They're some way of thinking about AI. And we'll see that these are different approaches sort of towards this topic. So to create AI is to create something that thinks like humans, says the human-based reasoning model. What about the human-based behavioral model, the Turing test? Maybe some of you have heard of that. AI is something that cannot think like human, but can act like human, acting, right? Behavior. Now the Turing test, Alan Turing, right, is this famous idea that in order to know whether something or an artificial system is intelligent or not, it needs to sort of trick us. It needs to be able to convince us while we are discoursing with it that we don't know whether this is human or not, right? Imagine a chatbot that you're writing with and you're saying, is this a person or a chatbot? If we've reached that level, we've passed the so-called Turing test, right? And we've created artificial intelligence. Another way to go at it, So in artificial intelligence, we have basically 6 subfields, right? That you would need in order to pass something like a Turing test. natural language processing, knowledge representation, automated reasoning, machine learning, computer vision, robotics, huge, huge fields. And every scientist is working on a tiny, tiny, tiny question in one of these subfields, right? AI, researchers, engineers, ethicists. Okay. Then we can go to the rationality side of AI. We're no longer talking about human-based ideas. We're no longer trying to mimic humans. We're trying to create something better than. We're trying to create something idealized. So if we're talking about reasoning and ideal rationality, so we have the laws of thoughts. We could take all of Plato's works, shove them inside an AI machine. It'll teach the system how to reason from one thing to the next, and there you have it. You have the ideal reasoning machine. Okay? Logics. It will be able to calculate everything. That is the goal if we're trying to achieve this ideal reasoning-based model. And finally, we have this ideal rational behavioral model, the rational agent. Now, this is sort of the standard conception of what it is that AI researchers do, right? They're trying to create agents, APIs. They're trying to create systems that we can interact with and engage with that sort of hold all these different issues within themselves, right? A system that can reason, a system that can interact with us, a system that can behave in a way that we understand, that we can predict, a system that is human-like, but better than human. Now, the question in philosophy of AI is, how do we achieve all these things? Not technically, but what are the foundational aspects of it? What does it mean to behave in a rational way? What is rationality? What does it mean to find the right answer? What are the laws of logics? Right? What does mathematics have to do with reasoning and morality? These will be very, very interesting questions in the philosophy of AI. But in this class, we are not doing philosophy of AI. We are not interested in this, even though it is fascinating, and it will come up time and again, right? What we are interested in is something else. What we are interested in this class is about the ethics of AI. We are interested in moral philosophy and ethics. This is what this class is about. We are not here to study the architecture of neural networks. We're not here to understand the coding behind different algorithms. We are here to ask ethical and moral questions in the vein of these greats. Aristotle, Immanuel Kant, John Stuart Mill, huge influential philosophers of the ages, right? They've laid the foundation for moral philosophy and ethics up to today. What we're interested in this course is to take the idea of philosophy and ethics and see how it relates to AI. So, what is moral philosophy and ethics? Well, if we take the typical tripartite structure of moral philosophy, there are three fields in moral philosophy. The first is known as meta-ethics. There's that word again, meta. So if there was ever a topic that is purely philosophical and not the philosophy of, we would say it is moral philosophy and ethics. Nevertheless, meta-ethics asks the foundational questions about the structure of ethics. What is morality, right? What is duty? What is rights? What are these things? How do we understand them? How do we define them? That's what meta-ethics will deal with. We are not going to be dealing with meta-ethics, right? That's not the point of this course. The second phase is normative ethics. This is ethical theorizing, right? How do we compare the damage done by a system of war, right? Is it all right to kill 10 people in order to save 3 people? What is consequentialism? What is deontology? All these ethical theories fall within the domain of normative ethics. And we're sort of going to be working within normative ethics. That's going to come up a lot. We're going to be working in that field, but most of all, what we are going to be doing is applied ethics. Applied ethics is to take those ethical insights, the meta-ethical conceptions and foundations, and apply them to a specific field. And which field are we going to apply that to? AI, of course. Right? We are interested in the application of ethics and morality in the field of AI. And that's the path or the adventure that we're going to be going through this semester, right? We're going to be digging in to all the nitty-gritty aspects of AI and trying to understand, where does ethics come in? Is this a relevant question? And how is it important for us, society, for anyone? Those are the issues that we're going to be tackling this semester. Okay. So hopefully that was the first part and it was a bit clear. And now I think we really need to deal with the elephant in the room, which is AI, of course. So what we're now going to be talking about is this idea of the many uses of AI. And there are many, many of them. And my goal over the next, 5, 10 minutes, we'll see how long it takes me, maybe a bit more, is to convince you now that the coming wave, the AI revolution, what's happening today around us is the best thing that has happened in human history. Okay? We are about to embark on a journey towards utopia. That's what's happening with the advent of AI. Now let's see if I'm successful in convincing you about that. I'm going to try my best. So the many, many uses of AI, and trust me, there are many of them, but let's try and understand what is so revolutionary about AI. Well, the first thing, unlike other technological developments, what AI offers us is personalization. No longer do I need to be judged against other peers in my group or other people that I have no idea about. No. AI is all about me and you and every single one of us. Technology is no longer generic. It is personalized for your own benefit. And not just that, it's available. It's easily available. Software can go anywhere, right? You don't need fancy tools. You have it right. Oh no, it's recording. I wanted to pick up my phone. It's with you all the time. It's available to everyone, okay? So the AI revolution, unlike electricity perhaps, unlike, great food production, which it's hard to come by, Michelin star restaurants are not so affordable still. AI is easy. Everyone's going to have it. It's going to be at the tip of your fingers. And it already is. And finally, it's going to improve everything. Human 2.0. We're entering a new age of what it is to be human and what it is to live in society. Now let's see why. Okay, I'm going to defend all these claims. Don't worry. I'm not going to be just a demagogue here. So let's see. Here's some quotes from a very interesting article that came out by Mark Andreessen. He's a developer and investor in the AI tech and AI field. And he wrote a manifesto called the Techno-Optimist Manifesto. And I brought a few quotes from that just to show you sort of the vision of what's going on and why AI is about to revolutionize everything. Every child will have an AI tutor that is infinitely patient, compassionate, knowledgeable, helpful. The AI tutor will be by each child's side every step of their development, helping them maximize their potential with the machine version of infinite love. No more neglected children, no more underprivileged. What's that word? With AI, all that can go out the window. Everyone will have access to the best teachers, the best knowledge. Anyone can succeed, no matter where you live in the world. Every person will have an assistant, a coach, a mentor, a trainer, advisor, therapist that is patient, compassionate, knowledgeable, helpful. The AI assistant will be present through all of life's opportunities and challenges, maximizing every person's outcomes. No more dilemmas, no more hard choices. If you're conflicted, ask AI. It'll be able to help you. It'll tell you what other people think is right. It'll tell you, it'll try and show you what is the best outcome that can come of your choices. Every leader of people, CEO, government official, president, athletic coach, teacher, will have exactly the same. It will be accessible, available, personalized. The magnification effects of better decisions by leaders across the people that they lead are enormous. Everyone is going to benefit from this. It's not just for the elites. It's not just for those who have. Everyone will benefit, says Mark Andreessen. And yes, he's right. And let's see why he's right. Think about the current epidemic of mental illness that's going on around the world. More and more people are suffering from loneliness, depression, and various kinds of mental illness. And yet, a study showed that highly trained specialist psychiatrists under study conditions were only able to agree that a patient has depression between 4 and 15% of the time. That means 85% of the time a group of psychiatrists sat there and said, no, yes. They couldn't decide even whether the patient has depression or not. Incompetent. Unbelievable. AI is going to change that. But not just that. Look at these statistics. It's horrific. Look at that. 21% of adults in the US experience mental illness. We're talking about 50 million Americans, okay? And of those, 55% receive no treatment at all. Why? They can't afford it. Psychiatrists, psychologists are expensive. There are not enough of them, and there are too many people that need them. So, 28 million individuals pick up a gun and find their own way to solve their problems. Okay, America, not Switzerland, right? 28% of adults with mental illness reported that they were not able to receive the treatment they needed because they could not afford it. AI is going to revolutionize that. No more waiting for months for an assessment, for a checkup. You'll have your very own psychologist, psychiatrist on your phone. Really simple. Look at this. Mental health waiting times in the UK. 23% wait more than 12 weeks to start their treatment. I'm thinking of killing myself now. I need to wait 12 weeks for someone to see me? 43% say waits lead to their mental health getting worse. Well, obviously, right? And 78% of mental health patients seek help from emergency services. It's not only that they just sit there and wait, they flood the rest of our social services. Hospitals, various kinds of community leaders have to deal with this when it's not their job and they're not trained to do it. So people are suffering. AI is going to change all of that. It's already out there. Wobot, a 24/7 psychologist, personal assistant aide to help you when you're feeling down on your phone. You chat with it. It'll give you tips of the day. It'll listen to you. It'll show compassion. It'll help you. You're grieving for your lost one? No worries at all. DID have developed what are known as grief bots today. I don't know if you've all heard of that. Grief bots bring back the person you love to life in virtual form, not really. But yes, you lost your partner, you feel you lack closure, you can talk to them again. These AI bots will train on all of the digital footprint of your friend or family member and learn to mimic them, essentially becoming that person and bringing them just for you back to life, just to help you get over that really, really traumatic event of losing your loved one. They're there for you to help. That's the power of AI. What about medicine? Think about medicine. When we think about it, we say, oh, it's science, it's accurate. Absolutely not. Go to a hospital and see how we are all guinea pigs there, right? The doctors have no idea what they're doing. They're testing various different things to see what works with you, what works with the other person. And that's the reality of it. AI is going to transform that completely. It's going to tell exactly what type of medication you need. And it's going to develop new medicines. It's going to be able to identify tumors from malignant and benign without invasive surgery, right? So less damage to us, less damage for the hospital, less costs, all through AI technology. It'll bring new treatments to life that we as doctors or as patients need desperately. And it'll do it better than the doctors do it today. A recent research showed that out of 200 doctors assessed how an AI system interacted with patients and showed that 45% of them believed that the AI was more empathetic than the doctors. 79% believed that the responses were of higher quality than provided by the practitioners, the doctors. And 79% preferred what the AI told them. They thought it was more informative. They thought it was better. So who needs these? We need this one. This is my doctor. That's who I want, right? Not the 5%, 21%. Yeah. As we develop these systems, we're going to create what's known as a digital twin for each of us. It'll be a duplicate of all your DNA, physical attributes, structure, and it's going to show what types of predispositions you have. It's going to tell you what type of sickness you might develop. It's going to be able to test how different medications work on your specific body. Personalization. No more guessing and medical guinea pigs. Everything will be done digitally. And AI will run through that in the speed of light, like that. Here's some real life examples, right? AI is using voice detection in order to diagnose diabetes and to diagnose early onset Alzheimer's. We can recognize through the pattern of your talk whether you are going to develop Alzheimer's soon. And these are things that no human being is capable of doing. We just don't have that capability. AI does. It's going to revolutionize this. And look, we're talking about November, April last year. This is happening now. And it's only getting better and better all the time. AI has already revolutionized how we create food, how we farm. Our agricultural output is skyrocketing. No more cheap labor needed. No more migrants that get paid $1 or $2 a day to work, right? We can take all that away. It's fairer, it's more just, it's more socially beneficial, and it's way more productive. We can treat every single plant exactly in the way it needs to in order to create these wonderful, beautiful tomatoes. I want to eat those. I don't know about you. AI is revolutionizing how we produce goods, factories, cars, computer chips, computer generators. All these things are being revolutionized efficiently, safely, and leaving us time to do what we want to do and need to do in our lives. What has meaning, no longer menial work. AI is revolutionizing safety. 1,350,000 people die every year from car-related accidents. Get that number in your head. 1.3 million deaths. Unbelievable. And we just allow it. We do it because I want to get quicker to the grocery store. AI is going to change that completely. We're going to go from 1.3 million to 0 in a matter of years. 0. No need for needless death. And the time spent in the train, in the tram, in the car, do away with that. We're going to sit there and smooth sailing for us. Get the work done. Talk to our loved ones. Quality time while moving from A to B. That's not all. AI is going to revolutionize how we understand and create art. Now let's see an example of that. So let's hope everything's working.
In the quaintest corner of Middle Earth, embark on an epic journey unlike any you've experienced before. This winter, Wes Anderson presents a heartwarming and quirky adaptation of a beloved classic, The Whimsical Fellowship. Meet Frodo Baggins, an unassuming hobbit, chosen for an extraordinary task. Guided by the enigmatic wizard Gandalf, Frodo embarks on a captivating journey with a colorful crew. Follow these heroes as they traverse idyllic countrysides and enchanted forests, bound together by a mission to save their world from looming darkness.
Our quest is clear. We must destroy the One Ring, overcome the eccentricities of our newfound fellowship, and perhaps learn the true meaning of friendship along the way. For this adventure, we'll require a walking stick, antique maps, breakfast, the Ring of Power, a pipe, a sword, and second breakfast.
Featuring an illustrious cast of Middle-earth's most distinctive inhabitants, starring Timothée Chalamet, Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton, Edward Norton, Leia Seydoux, Benicio del Toro, Adrian Brody, Bob Balaban, Jeff Goldblum, Ben Stiller, Christoph Waltz, Willem Dafoe, and Owen Wilson. Wow. The Whimsical Fellowship is a refreshingly unique interpretation of Tolkien's timeless tale. Journey into theaters this summer, and remember, not all those who wander are lost.
Okay. It's going to revolutionize. Shh, you're done. It's going to revolutionize how we see. And that video that we just saw was generated using only AI tools. The script, the images, the editing, everything was done by AI. And this is Gen 1, don't forget. Now I'm about to show you Gen 2, right? That's coming up, but in a second I want to talk about that. It's going to change the way each and every one of us has the chance and the power to show who they are, to create these wonderful artistic creations at the touch of a button. Lovely. And this is Gen 2 I was just talking about. This just came out this week. Okay, this is known as Sora, and maybe some of you have read about that. This is the new text-to-image generator by OpenAI. And this is just one of the tiny examples. Here's the prompt. By the way, throughout my lectures, every time I use an AI-based image generator, I'm going to write the prompt down here so you can see sort of what I wrote into the generator and what it created for me. Okay? But this is the prompt that OpenAI used. They wrote, a litter of golden retriever puppies playing in the snow. Their heads pop out of the snow covered in. And then let's see. This is image-generated video created by a text-to-video processing AI known as Sora. And there you have it. It's just a few seconds. Look at the quality. None of this is real, right? This is completely AI generated. So this is what I was talking about, Gen 2, right? Maybe before we could see, well, this is animation. This is starting to get freaky a bit. Incredible capabilities. And so, medicine, psychiatry, transportation, art, creativity, food, agricultural, work, education. All these fields are about to be revolutionized and for the better. They're going to be transformed by creating personalized, available, and better products and services. And that's why AI is about to revolutionize our lives. Okay, and now the question, have I convinced you?